Hey, people. In that last movie, The Godfather of the Language Change, I told you that I suspected that this D was also the tet, the TH. I told you that's what I believe, and I no longer believe that. I done found the proof that it's a fact. But if you look at that letter D, it's a letter tet with an S in it turned up on its side. It's this letter tet turned back up on its side, the snake's head and the snake's tail, with an S in it. And as many times as I've talked about these amphora, telling you that word ain't correct, how they got it, they say this amp means both sides, meaning it has a handle on both sides, and that's not correct. That's something that was forced over it. You can see how the mark above it reads different. I also talked about these pithos, and as many times I did, I never ran into this. They always have this spelling for the pithos, pithos. And in English, this term is used to containers, to those such containers used among the civilizations that border the Mediterranean Sea. And, I really didn't even go looking for this, trying to prove my case. I've been reading that Thessalonians. I thought I better go to the beginning and start. And the beginning starts the same as the beginning of the second book. And this here, these marks mean that this wasn't in the original. It was added later. So I didn't bother trying to read that. And I picked up a lot of words in here that talk about the ancient language, that explain the ancient language that's hidden in here. And I didn't get down far at all, down to this third line. And it tells me to read it backwards. And it's so dipple, and then el pedos. And so I went to look at this pedos, and it sent me here to pithos, or pedos, depending on where you're from, how you read that. That's a TH or a D. And you see it right here, that page is gone, but it's pedos, the P-I-D-O-S. Like many Greek words for pottery, most likely a pre-Greek origin. Before the Greek, they're saying. And of course it's before the Greek, because all the Greek is just writings of everything that was already in existence, as evidenced by the irregular variations between the D and the TH. But it's hard to find now, but the D is a double letter in the Hebrew, and once in a while you find where the writings that tell you that it doubles is the tet. And I'm pretty sure this is a fact, because it's where our English word "the" comes from, because they used to have this sign that looks like a D with the line extended down when we first got here, and people would put it on their stores, the DE, meaning "the," and it's where our word THE come from. And formerly compared to Old Norse beta, or BITH, bitch. The bitch is the milk jug, bucket, an earthen vessel or pot. And it was a bitch because you had to go fill it up with water every day, had to do the bitch. And you see here this word for Eve in the Greek, the zoo is the life, the life, the zoo, pitho, either one's correct. And what they say interprets to "you have wine by the cask fill" is L, reads backwards with the mark KE is the L, LK, like pedo, like pedo size, SISE with the mark, like the pedo size, letin on tell this. But we see in this word for amphora pointed on the bottom, and so the pedo probably means foot. It's pointed on the bottom, and they were designed so you could stack them in the hole. They weren't made to stand up on land, but they were made to be stacked in cargo for shipping. And the pedos, the pedos had a bigger base so they could stand up on land, which is also your French word lapidos, the feet. And that's where they're getting this, your purse is deep, like the pedo. And then size, SISE, the size, letting on tell this. Because people used to use their pedos to put their money in, and the size of the pedo is letting on tell this, that your purse is deep, that you got a bunch of money. The bigger your pedo, more money you got. So these AM4 were designed to cut shipping costs. It's not designed for the house. You have to have a holder to set it in, but it cuts your shipping costs down because they're easier stacked in the boat. And you can see it in this Greek word. It has this mark, and it says, this reads backwards, and it's SWEROF, the swear of mom, MAM, for use. The swear of mom for use. Mama's the one that's got to go fill it up as she's swearing. The swear of mom for use. She's swearing because son of a bitch, you can't put it down because it won't stand up on its own. You got to carry it all the way home after you fill it up. You can't take a break without standing there and holding it. So this word for Godfather here, it's the T or the D. It's the Theo, the God, or the Dio, the God, either way. And then the line says two E's when this line says read it back this way. And so it's EE or HE, he. And then TOP or DOP, either way. Top a tree, dop a tree. The ancient Trinity, the tree, the potter was on the top. He's top a tree. Or dop, either way. A dop is a cork, a stopper. A dop, a stopper. A cap of axis. Or top, top of the tree, the top of tree. The top of tree. And so this Theo, you could just interpret as the, and then Omega, the great circle. The Omega, the O great. The great circle, he, top of tree. He's the top of the three. Tri is three. And then you see the next time it comes up, the following word starts with a P, so it's the same, Theo, he, top on tote. He top on totin'. He top on carry, parry, around. The panton, the circle of gods. The panton to Mom Namu, to Mother Namu, the mother of all gods, mother of heaven and earth, Namu. And then if from vein, the NE is a B or a V. So it's from vein, V-I-A-N. V-A-I-N is vain, means empty, but the same as view. The I-E, when you change the position of the I-E, it means looking in or looking out. Well, from vein with the I-A, it means full of life. Where V-A-I-N, would be empty. The twist of the vowels change the meaning. Full of life, the mouth, the poi, who, men, how. The poetry. A couple movies ago I showed you where that interprets, when you pull it off, put an interpreter, it interprets poetry in Greek. From full of life, the poetry, from the mouth of men, how. And then backwards and forwards, if the pie, if the circle taughten, if the pie taughten, force, which, WCH, and then O, omega, and then X on. The force which ocean, O-C-H-N, ocean, comum, nome, N-O-M-E. Nome is a name of a place. And then backwards first, sought, pallade. A dial they put as. Sought, Pallades is when the Vedas was written. Pallades was the governor. It was the sun was in Pallades at Easter. Was the governor, at the crossing. A dial, that's where your settings come from. A dial they put as. They put it on Pallades. And then MN, from Nemo, no man. From no man new, N-E-W. From no man new on it is. To Mom Nomu, to the mother of all gods, come out. Toa, to come out. To ogre her go. To ogre her go. So an ogre is like Shrek, it's a man-eating giant. And so to ogre her go, G-O-W, is a pre-metric unit of length. Go, G-O-W. Or a girl, a giant girl. Sot Palade, a dial they put as. From Nemo new on it is. To Mom Namu come out. Toa. To ogre her go. To the giant her measurement. Or to the giant, to the ogre her go, her girl. That's pistos. That's behind whose. Pistos. Is behind whose. What come out. Kapow. K-O-P-O-W. Kapow. Kapow. This is an ancient word that means smack right in the kisser. It's a Adam word, it sounds like it sounds. That comes from onomatopoe, and it's a nome, a name to the poets, a word that the poets use to rhyme, a word that Adam used to name things, to toa, to come out, kapow, that's she fag a gaffs, the fag right in the ass, kapow, right in the fag a gaffs, a gaffs when you come out the ocean, you holding your gaff. This is a gaff, this old spear of Triton gaff. It's designed to grab your fish, your frog. And that's hypomonin synum of withits. And that's hypermonin, hypermonin. And then sin, hypermonin, hypo, under the moan, M-O-N-E-N, move the N over, and then S-E-N, the synum, S-E-N-O-M, the synum of O-F, of withits, W-T-H-T-S, withits. So dipple of pedos, so dipple, D-I-P-L-E, dipple, ancient Greek meaning double, referring to the two lines, in this mark, that you see this mark all in the Hebrew, and I wasn't sure what it meant. And now I got a better idea, and it was because of the change of time, having changed, instead of changing the words in the Hebrew, in the Greek, they kept adding these tojos to the word, with the change of time, and the words got colossal, the colossus. The words were huge. But in the Hebrew, in order to change the value, they left the words the same, and they did it with the dipple, adding dipples under words. So they also did this in some of the Greek manuscripts, and they put them in the margins, and this became known as apostles. Apostle, away still, the marginalia, or the apostles. These things that's written in the margins, these little symbols in the margins, these are known as apostles. And this artwork, these are apostles. They could be scribbles, comments, glosses, annotations, critiques, duels, or illuminations. Used in the margins of ancient Greek manuscripts to draw attention to something in the text. It looks like our greater than or less than sign. And so it's letting you know that time is traveled and this value is now greater than. So the number value you're getting out of the word is going to be moved up 1 or 2. And so the dimple of the fetos, of the foot. Now you see it on this word here, they say is 20. It's as rise. And it's Osiris, the eye of Osiris, the star Sirius was the eye of the dog. And it's set at the 20. And so it's letting you know that value has moved up. And so the dimple of the foot of the pedos, Toa, to come out, to carry of, Kumum Gnome, to Kumum the name, when as eyes, the U, and it tell me to grab this last letter here, this N, and maybe the H. I'm not sure how this works when this word reads backwards and forwards, but it's either when or which. So it's either, which is eyes, or when as eyes, which, WHOS, which as EYE, the eyes of crest at the peak. The crest of, OV, and then telling me there's another O. And at the crest of, at the peak of, and then this O goes with this N over here. On it surf mem, M-E-M is waters. It makes me think that's S-U-R-F. On it surf waters. Surf, a Turkish word for surf. On it surf from them, force, the forced in, come out to Toa, the ova, the egg, and then vav, U-P, a patros. So this word patros, it doesn't mean father. To patronize comes from the Latin patronus, protector or master. It doesn't mean male or father, the one with the seed. It means the protector. Related to potter, where father comes from. But this is patros, the protector. And the egg to protector, the patros. And so the patros could be a woman. It doesn't have to be a man. It's not male. It's the protector, the guard. And to the egg, to the protector, the patros, the kumum gnome, the kumum the name. The ova, the egg to patros. Here's your godfather right here, the one that's patrolling the egg. So I know if y'all been watching my stuff, I know you got a lot out of this. And I didn't want to rush through a lot of this. I'm going to slow down and read it and go over some more. But my program's loading up, so y'all know the deal.
Don't forget, hooty hoot, tooty hoot. I won't forget.
Alright, I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.